This is the Rebel Call channel. Welcome to today's show. I have to do a video on Taylor Swift yet again, maybe the 20th time I've exposed Taylor Swift. But at this point, if you don't realize that Taylor Swift is Taylor Swift is many things, but for starters, is a government asset. This is a CIA asset who is manipulating the mind of the youth out there, playing a Christian, of course, playing a nice girl. But of course, we see all the agendas that are being pushed from Taylor Swift, which I'll get into towards the end of the video. And Taylor Swift has a new album out, and it's called The Tortured Poets Department. And I want to make it really clear because Taylor Swift is making it really clear to you as well. She loves her eyeball. Taylor Swift, if she wasn't making millions making, what some people call music, or I like to call it fecal matter out of the mouth, Taylor Swift would have been an optometrist. You could see Taylor Swift right here on Spotify's own post that this is the most streamed album in a single day. And of course, Taylor Swift is showing you her allegiance here at the bottom, doing blatant, basic, all-seeing eye symbolism. And of course, in another photo that was released for the album, here's Taylor Swift playing peekaboo right through the album. But of course, this isn't a government asset. This is somebody who organically went from a mediocre singer with mediocre music to being the most popular musician perhaps since Beatles or the Elvis, with some of the most average music at best that we've ever heard. So people have to wonder, why do we keep hearing Taylor Swift this, Taylor Swift that? Well, this is how psychological operations work. It's like any movie you hear, right? When they keep telling you it's the greatest thing ever, you gotta see it, you gotta see it, people go and see it. And if they tell you it's the worst movie since Jiggly, everybody out there will say it's the worst movie since Jiggly. It's monkey see, monkey do. And the media knows how to control the minds of the masses, or I should say the government does. So Taylor Swift showing you her all-seeing eye symbolism with this album. And of course, it's worth noting that Taylor Swift is showing you her MK Ultra bondage in the first video that's come out with Post Malone, with the black and white esoteric symbolism, chained to the bed, right? Pill popping, all these things that they continually do in these videos to brainwash the children. But I'm covering this for many reasons. And of course, I've covered the theories before about Taylor Swift. I mean, you could look for yourself at the size of Taylor Swift's hands, but many believe Taylor Swift is actually a doppelganger, a clone, or potentially even the daughter, which is what I believe, of Zena LaVey, who is the daughter of Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan. You can see pictures of them. The resemblance is uncanny. You can see Taylor Swift again doing all-seeing eye symbols so many times over. But that's just because Taylor Swift just loves the eyeball, right? They all do. So we see all the collages of them all doing this stuff over their eyes. They can't get enough of putting things over their eyes. This is what normal people do, right? We always cover our eyes. And as I'm covering this video, I'm covering it to show you because Taylor Swift has this cookie cutter image. So Christian parents allow their children to listen to Taylor Swift because they think it's the lesser of two evils, right? Some of these musicians, you could flat out see them and you could see that they're demonic and satanic, like Doja Cat or many of these other ones. And the parents go, well, I'd rather they listen to this instead of saying, hey, you're not listening to any of it. I'm going to be a parent and I'm going to police you from this satanic stranglehold that these musicians and entertainers have over the minds of the masses. These are false idols literally in front of our faces. So Taylor Swift, if you don't remember, because I want to show you the tie-in here with how they're literally comparing, and our fans are comparing Taylor Swift to Jesus, and then Taylor Swift is comparing herself to Jesus in one of the new songs that was just released. So if you don't remember, Taylor Swift fans lobbied for Christ the Redeemer, the statue we all know of. And again, it doesn't matter what your opinion is on the statue itself being a false idol, but just the concept that this is a statue that's supposed to represent Jesus Christ. And how our fans have put Taylor Swift's face on the Christ the Redeemer statue, how the government was okay with it, that people out there are literally comparing Taylor Swift to Jesus Christ. Fans even calling Taylor Swift Taylord, right? Taylord, portrayed as Jesus in posters that they're posting. And then this is what people out there are saying since the album came out, right? And I'll read you the verse from Taylor Swift's song. She says, this person says, Taylor Swift comparing herself to Jesus Christ of the Bible in Guilty as Sin, which is the name of the song, go figure, is my favorite thing she's ever done. She's so funny, right? Other people, who suffered more, Jesus or Taylor Swift? That's how blasphemous these people are. Taylor Swift in the song says, what if I roll the stone away? They're going to crucify me anyway, comparing himself to Jesus Christ. Now, this is nothing more than a massive psychological operation that's being done on the masses. All celebrities are government assets, period. The notion of this has gotten so far out of hand for people that they think that this is the craziest conspiracy they've ever heard, because they believe very easy backstories that the government gives these people of where they're from, who they grew up with. They plant them with fake parents, right? A lot of these people that, like, the Obama's a perfect example. The children are not their children. Those are not two, that is not a biological man and woman. I mean, everybody out there can see that very clear, okay? The children come from different parents. They plant children with these people. It's all for show. The entire thing is an operation. Taylor Swift, of course, is a CIA asset. We've seen Taylor Swift doing the Monarch butterfly programming, right? With the, of course, have the rainbow there, the pentagrams, and the giant me above Taylor Swift's head. Of course, this is part of the movement we're involved in right now, the me movement. The me. Build up enough narcissists, create enough narcissists, they're going to be unpenetratable. We're not going to be able to get to them. We are not going to be able to reach their minds to wake them up from what is coming and what is currently going on. That's a fact. That's why they're creating an army of narcissists, not because they love narcissists, because they know narcissists will believe what they're told, and then they'll self-empower these narcissists to repeat government propaganda. So we've seen Taylor Swift put on Baphomet masks in music videos before. Of course, Taylor Swift has done the shh sign, right? But Taylor Swift has flat out shown us that Taylor Swift is a witch, right? The whole song, Out of the Woods. Are we out of the woods yet? Taylor Swift performs satanic rituals on stage doing this. I've exposed this dozens of times over on the website that you can see for yourself. Okay, Taylor Swift is talking about these witches coming out of the woods and being accepted out in the open. And that's what you're watching happen right now. Taylor Swift, of course, no big deal, right? When Taylor Swift is in a bathtub doing the Osiris X Antichrist symbol, which I've exposed in another video. If you just found this channel, you can go through my videos here on YouTube, the video on X and the Antichrist. Nobody ever notices this stuff, right? The bathtub represents the baptism. These people are baptized in the occult. They denounce Christ and they accept Lucifer as their god. You could see the bathtub that Taylor Swift is in, and I put the picture of Miley Virus right next to her. This is the same exact thing, right? And nobody out there notices the pattern because they're not paying attention that these musicians all sing about the same stuff. They sing about a hatred for God and a love for Lucifer. These love songs they write are odes to Lucifer. They are not odes to ex-boyfriends and girlfriends. They are love letters to Lucifer. Okay, they are spell casting on you. That's what music is used as. So you see her in the bathtub, right? Him in the bathtub with the hands folded like that in an X symbol. Same as Miley Virus, right? Of course, this is Osiris. This is Antichrist symbolism. And I've covered this in that other video where you see all the celebrities doing an X symbol over their chest, right? But nobody says, well, if this is art, how come Miley Virus and Taylor Swift are doing the same symbol? I mean, it's literally the same thing. It's a bathtub. They're both laying in the bathtub, not in water. One's in jewels, one's in purple goo. And they both are holding their hands over their chest, making an X symbol, right? But they don't expect you to notice it. And when people do notice it, they silence it, right? So another thing to note before I get into the CIA asset part of this, because it's really important to note, that's why I'm covering this in regards to this new album and the mocking of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, is because Taylor Swift is marketed to children, okay? Doja Cat is not necessarily marketed to children. They look at the cookie cutter image. Oh, she just looks like she looks like a girl. Probably not, right? But if you look at the hands and the Adam's apple, excuse me. But the whole, he's singing about love and she seems so sweet, right? And the agenda she pushes, they don't realize, Christian parents, that they're being duped, okay? Katy Perry played the same role. Britney Spears played the same role. They are operatives, and what they're trying to do is influence your children's behavior. And that starts with political ideologies and their view of the world. This is how you lukewarm the church. This is what the Bible warns about, the lukewarming of the church. So Christian parents who are pushing this in front of their kids instead of preventing their kids from being exposed to these false idols, they're enabling a government agenda, and they're enabling Lucifer really to have a grip over the minds of their children. So one of the articles out there is that Clara Bow, I wanted to cover this as well with the album, that Taylor Swift was inspired by Clara Bow. Clara Bow, if you don't know, the movie Babylon that just came out, of course, no connection to Babylonian, no connection at all, right? And the lifestyle and the witches that have, started running and were popped up around Hollywood in the 1920s, okay? Clara Bow was a government asset, just like Taylor Swift. They call them it girls, right? See the article? Revisiting Clara Bow, the scrutinized it girl who inspired Taylor Swift's new song, okay? You can see her doing all-seeing eye symbolism, even in the 20s. She wasn't winking, holding up a tennis racket. You could see her dressed up as a witch in numerous photographs. Clara Bow is an Eastern Star witch, like all of them are. They're initiated through Eastern Star. Just the basic ideologies, but they're way higher up in the Luciferian secret societies. And Taylor Swift dedicated this album to Clara Bow because she's talking about being an it girl, right? She's literally letting you know that, look, Taylor Swift is a property of the government, like Clara Bow was. She's going to be spit out. They get chewed up and spit out by design, on purpose, because they're assets. The only purpose they serve to the government is to influence the behavior of the audience. That's what Larry Fink is talking about with behavioral control. That's what this is about. They're controlling your perceptions of reality and they're influencing your behavior. People are losing a grip on what's real and what's not real. These people are not becoming famous because they work harder than other people. They sound no different than anybody else at a karaoke bar, okay? So Taylor Swift, if you don't remember, also did a concert where fans left the concert feeling like they had amnesia. And I covered it then, right? Because of the frequencies that Taylor Swift is using. Frequencies are used often in music. And then stories came out about Taylor Swift being a government asset, which I couldn't believe at the time. But I saw why they were doing it because of this, right? Fox News talking about Taylor Swift being a Pentagon psyop, being a government asset, but only in regards to your vote. That's what they'll talk about. They'll say, well, Taylor Swift is trying to influence the young girls out there to vote Democrat, right? That's as far as they'll go with how government operatives work. They won't get into the mind control. They won't get into behavioral control. They won't get into Agenda 2030, climate agenda, pride agenda, all these agendas that are tied into every single celebrity because they all push the same agenda. So they came out and they talked about it. And what they didn't mention was the unmasking of Tavistock, right? Because Tavistock is really what all of these celebrities go through, right? It started with the Beatles. Okay, you might remember the Beatles and Elvis. Okay, probably people don't remember. They're holding up 666 signs too and devil horns too. It's not just celebrities of today. They were doing it back then. Okay, Elvis wasn't supporting MAGA. He wasn't saying things are A-okay, right? People were fainting, dropping dead at the sight of the Beatles. And this was how they started their first real government operation on the people. The Tavistock Institute, they released the Beatles. Then they wanted to see if the Beatles could persuade people into thinking this way, into doing this, into liking that. That's how it started. And since then, they've gotten so good at it that we literally are living among people that don't want to believe that government operations are even real. They think that the government sits there all day, and all they do is look out and make sure that we're not getting attacked from Afghanistan or the boogeyman over here or there. The government is here to enslave you. And they're using these operatives to change your perception on reality and to make you want what they want, right? That's why Taylor Swift, look at this stuff, all the agendas that are current agendas, right? Taylor Swift blasts toxic male privilege during Women of the Decade speech. Taylor Swift and climate change. Taylor Swift supports gun control. Taylor Swift delivers Pride Month message on Eras Tour. Agenda, right? But they won't talk about that. They'll talk about the only way they'll talk about government assets is if they can mock it and make it sound like we're all crazy. And that's, of course, talking about voting. That's why this clip I'll play for you from The View has aired before on national television, where they actually bring attention to this, because what they're trying to do is make it look like people who call these people government operatives are crazy. But the reality of the matter is Whoopi Goldberg's a government. They're all government operatives. That's the point. They're put there so they can persuade you into thinking looking at things from what's right and wrong, and eventually herding you like cattle. And that's what they're doing right now. Listen to this clip from The View that I've used before. Okay? And listen how they talk about, well, what's wrong with Taylor Swift, influencing young girls out there to vote? And that's all they want you to think it's about, is voting. Your vote doesn't count. They're influencing your behavior. Look at this ridiculous clip from The View.
There are real issues impacting millions of Americans: reproductive rights, racism, healthcare costs, income disparity, and gun violence, just to name a few. But this is what the Fox News folks wanted viewers to be worried about during their primetime broadcast on Tuesday. Take a look.
Have you ever wondered why or how she blew up like this? Well, around 4 years ago, the Pentagon's Psychological Operations Unit floated turning Taylor Swift into an asset during a NATO meeting. What kind of asset? A psyop for combating online misinformation. She posted the link to the vote.org. It's like hundreds of thousands of young Taylor Swift fans all of a sudden registered to vote. I wonder who got to her from the White House or from wherever.
Yeah. You know, I have to say, when we talk about snowflakes, they always talk about, you people worried about the weirdest stuff. She got people to go out and vote, including probably all kinds of people that you'd rather not have voting. But you know what? We're going to continue to suggest that folks who have the wherewithal to say, hey, if you want to make a change in the world, go ahead and go out and vote. That's our biggest thing. If she can get people to do that, why would you say that was a bad thing or talk about it like you were disparaging it?
I have a theory.
What kind of bull?
Sorry.
What kind of
Baloney.
good?
What kind of baloney is that? Is that good?
I have a
You happy?
baloney theory.
Okay.
I have a baloney theory.
Speak up.
My theory is that Taylor Swift was born in Tennessee. She kind of started out as a country music pop princess. And I think that the Jessie Waters of the world thought that she was their princess. And then all of a sudden, she decides to endorse a Democrat in Tennessee.
Yeah.
She was in support of March for Our Lives against gun violence. She supported the LGBTQ in her community in her music videos. And she said, I'm pro-choice. And then she said, and vote. They picked the they picked the wrong princess.
And you know who their princess is? Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yes.
That's their princess.
But why is it that
Pennsylvania,
Republicans,
not Tennessee?
Republicans typically want small government because they don't think it does a good job getting in your business until it gets to a conspiracy theory. And then they believe Taylor Swift can brainwash the entire nation. The execution and cooperation on that is next level.
I'm tired of dumb people. I'm tired of it. I can't handle it.
But by the way, this news broadcast happened, to be more serious, there's hostages abroad, there's a looming government shutdown.
Yeah.
Chris Christie, there's so much stuff happening, and this is the critical, hard news that dear Jessie Waters is bringing us. But I just want to know, a very senior Trump advisor, who I will not repeat his name, also tweeted, what's happening with Taylor Swift is not organic. Dun, dun, dun. Like, what? No, her music is great. They're bops. We love it.
It's because it was country, Tennessee, and now it's not.
And a woman is kicking butt.
Now they have Lauren Boebert. Good for them.
Oh, I have a legal note. A Pentagon spokesperson pushed back against Jessie Waters' claim, saying in a statement, quote, as for this conspiracy theory, we are going to shake it off.
Oh, okay.
So again, these are government operatives. There couldn't be more. There's probably not a celebrity out there that has more stuff circulating on them than Taylor Swift as far as signs and symbols. I used to think maybe Beyonce had the most. Eminem's had a lot. I've done so many on so many people, but Taylor Swift has beyond the most. Okay, and releasing another album at this point, when there's so much stuff out there about Taylor Swift, tells you how confident they are that they have you under their grasp, but they have you under their control. So they'll release an album where Taylor Swift, again, multiple times in the new album covers, is doing all-seeing eye symbolism, right? Despite the fact that 1,000,000 times over, she's done it. They're continuing to do it. All the comparisons to Jesus Christ, the mockery of Jesus Christ, the me movement, the satanic emblems, the shh sign, telling you part of secret society, the out of the woods stuff, right? The Osiris worship. I mean, over and over and over and over again. And nobody out there is paying attention. So if you're out there and you're a Christian, you shouldn't be look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to let you parent your kids and live your life. But what I will tell you is all of these people in secret, I know for a fact, because they've revealed it to us, worship Lucifer. So would you want your children listening to somebody who worships Lucifer? Of course not. Would you want them listening to Marilyn Manson if you're a Christian parent? Of course you wouldn't. But they don't expect you to let your kids listen to Marilyn Manson. They expect you to at least be that much aware, which it doesn't take much. But when it comes to Taylor Swift, well, she says she's Christian, so she must be. Couldn't be a wolf in sheep's clothing. The symbolism is all over the place. And Taylor Swift is pushing every single New World Order agenda while continuing to get pushed down our throats by the mainstream media. Not because Taylor Swift is popular, because they're pushing her on purpose because of the influence that Taylor Swift has over the minds of the youth. And right now, it's nothing more than a full-on attack on the minds of the youth. And we have to wake them up and break them free from this. So Taylor Swift is back doing all seeing eye symbolism. I had to cover it when I saw the actual album cover. It's hard not to laugh at how obvious this stuff is, but it's laughable. It really is. I mean, if they got a pyramid tattooed under their eye and they actually sewed their eye shut and permanently walked around the streets with that, these people would think that they were doing it to troll us. Small YouTubers who barely get any views, very minuscule views at this point. Not just me, all of us who cover this stuff. Because we're shadow banned. We keep fighting because we're trying, but they keep shadow banning. And so if they did that, if Taylor Swift got a tattoo of a pyramid with an eyeball in it and sewed her his eye shut, whatever you want to call it, these people would still defend Taylor Swift. They'd still say we're all nuts. That's how deep the mind control runs. And that's why it's important as well to remember that when I talk about narcissism, how that ties into this. Social media, how they've built people up into narcissists, because it makes their minds unpenetratable. There's walls up that you can't penetrate because these people don't want to believe that they've been duped. Because a narcissist will never believe that they've been duped. Guess what? I was duped. Everybody out there listening to this channel at some point in time probably liked things in the mainstream, probably didn't realize there was a government conspiracy going on, okay? But at some point, they looked at the signs around them, they realized that this was biblical, and they woke up to it, okay? It's not about being, smarter than anybody else. It's about realizing what's happening and stopping it from continuing. I thank you for being here. Hope you're all doing well. God bless you as always and your families.